Well, would you look at that? It's another Wednesday afternoon here at the Wheelhouse on a very lovely July 5th afternoon, Wheelchair Wednesday. Welcome. I'm your host, Wheelchair Rick. Today, it's not picking me up for some reason. Is it? Yeah, it is. There it is. Today we have another special guest. This guy, seen him a lot on Facebook. I meet a lot of you guys on Facebook. He's got a lot of cool videos he does. We're gonna talk to him. We're gonna get right into it. But before we do anything, we gotta hit the intro. Welcome to Wheelchair Wednesday. All right, so without further ado, let's give it up for Mr. Daniel Ruiz. Oh, I messed it up. See, I knew I was gonna do that. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, what's up? All right, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Daniel Ruiz, right?
Ruiz, yeah.
Ruiz, that's right. All right. What's up, man? How you doing? How you been?
I'm doing pretty well. A little fatigued from the weekend that I just had up in Mississippi, and got back on Monday, and just kind of been taking it easy since then.
Whereabouts in Mississippi did you go?
We went to Tuscumbia, I think it is, where they're at the gambling houses and all that.
Okay, nice. I've never heard of it, but it sounds fun.
Oh yeah, it's the only place around here that you can actually gamble legally. So it's
right. Nice.
A couple friends of, yeah.
So where are you from? Are you from Mississippi, or are you from where are you from?
Oh no, currently I'm in Alabama. I was born and raised in Miami, Florida. I was there for about 38 years, and then came up over here in 2002 to Alabama. And somehow, I've chased my family. Everybody came here, my brothers, my mom, uncles, aunts, everybody came up here. I decided to come here and visit. They showed me a 300-acre ranch that was selling for like peanuts.
Right.
I bought it, and I turned it into a cattle ranch, and I became a cowboy.
Oh, heck yeah. That's the dream right there. That's the American dream. I was going to say, I wouldn't peg you for Alabama because you don't have the accent.
No, I've only been here, 8-9 years this round. Because I did go back to Miami in 2011, and then a divorce took place and stuff with my ex, and okay. I came back here with my tail between my legs, so to speak.
Right. Well, we got another guy down in Miami, our boy Baldito, Arnito, you know him.
I think,
the happy quadriplegic. He's a cool guy. So welcome to Wheelchair Wednesday, Daniel. I'd like to welcome you formally as the gracious host that I am. And we got 10 questions we're going to ask you. We've talked a little bit before we went live, but as you know, it was a hectic start to this live. We had to try to hit all these kinds of buttons. I couldn't hear you. I mean, guys, it was crazy. I mean, you believe me when I say I had to find a better way, and I did, and I made it work. So hopefully everybody's hearing everything and it's coming through okay. If not, put it in the comments. That's what I love about the live shows. If you have a question you want to ask Daniel about anything that we're talking about, or anything that pertains to the subject, go ahead, type it in there, and we'll ask it. So my first question to you, as to everybody, is how did it happen? What is your level of injury?
My level of injury is T5. Incomplete, I guess they would say, but I think it's complete, but that's another story. In 1983, I was 15 years old, 7 days before my 16th birthday, jumped on a friend's motorcycle, took it around the neighborhood, and when I was probably about 2 minutes away from my house, some lady ran me off the road, hit a big tree, and here I am.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So you've been in the chair for years then.
It'll be 40 years, August 12th.
40 years, August 12th. Wow. Well,
yes,
I don't know if I should congratulate you on that or not. You know how normally people have it. It's like, oh yeah, congratulations. I don't know. But for 40 years, man, you're a true OG. You've been down for a while.
Oh yeah.
So the next question I have for you is, if you could go back all those years and switch that route you took or whatever, and know that you were going to get in that accident and avoid that, but have a different life, would you do it? It's pretty much like, would you walk if you could, but you're giving away all that time that you spent, and all the stuff that you built up in this life to do that life?
Well, one of the things I've learned in nearly the 40 years that I've been in the chair is, walking is actually a little overrated.
I agree.
I mean, to say, yeah, I've done it. I'm with the functional electrical stimulation. Once I joined the Miami Project about 20 years ago, and I wouldn't change a thing. No, I wouldn't, because I wasn't on a good path when I was 15 years old. I was heavy into drugs and skipping school and doing things that 15-year-olds shouldn't be doing.
Right. Well, you know what? I commend that. I'm the same way. I wouldn't go back either, but I've only been, a little over 3 years down. So, certain people have certain outlooks, but that's awesome. My next question to you is, what about dating? Dating, married situation. I know you said something about married and the divorce, but how have you found it being in a wheelchair trying to do that?
It is definitely challenging compared to when I was walking. However, I don't have the perspective of someone dating, really, because I was 15 years old, so I was kind of still fresh into the dating scene and all that. And but I think that one of the first girlfriends that I had, and this was very important because I think about it to this day. One of my very first girlfriends that I had in the chair, sitting in my bedroom one day, and we were talking, and I asked, I go, how do you feel going out with a guy in a wheelchair? And she goes, I don't care, because I'm dating the best looking guy in Kendall. So, and that gave me like such a boost. Absolutely, so with that, and then, different, scenarios took place, and or things that had taken place with the women in the early stages. It was right. It was. I don't think there was a big difference, except that getting past that ice breaking period with a female, and once they got to see my personality and what I was involved with, things just seemed to, I've been married twice, been divorced twice, have two daughters, really, one biological and one that I adopted.
Nice.
So I can't say that, it's just, it's getting a little tougher these days, because now, I'm older, and the dating scene to me is, I guess I'm always in a rush, or I want to have things, the way that I'm accustomed to. And living here in Alabama, there's it's just a difference as far as people accepting, a wheelchair, as part of, in that, in the equation of a relationship.
Right. For sure. But at least, like, it sounds to me like, once you get your confidence and you can keep your, keep that swagger still about you, you just got to have it, man. You either have it or you don't. I say some people, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, and I get rejected. I've had many.
Oh yeah, that's part
times
of it.
And 9 out of 10 times I just take it as a learning experience for that moment, and then I'll forget about it and I go on.
Yeah, you can't win them all, man. Can't win them all. No.
Even though I would like to, but that's not the reality.
Well, and the thing is like, everybody used to say there's a million fish in the sea, blah 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 blah, and just because you can get 3, 4, 5 no's, but eventually you're gonna get a yes. You know what I mean? Same goes with sales. I was in sales for a long time, and it's like you just got to keep plugging away, and you'll get one eventually.
Absolutely, I agree.
Whether that one's keeping or throwing back, that's to be told when it shows up. But that's good though. That's a good story. Everybody asks about that. You know what I mean? They think it's because you're in a wheelchair. Like, a lot of people think you're automatically like out of the scene. You know what I mean? But
yeah, that's one of the things that really irks me, is that how people, assign Occam's razor. The second that they see someone that's in a wheelchair or they have a disability, they just try, what's the best thing that we can do with this person? And 9 out of 10, it's, the nursing home, or, having somebody take care of them. I'm 100% independent, and pretty much for my whole life, in the chair, I've done, there isn't anything that I haven't done that's, how would I say, I don't know. I just, I just had a brain freeze.
Right. But I get what you're trying to say, though. Like, you can still do most of the things that you could do without it. You know what I mean? The chair.
Correct.
Now, that actually, there's a question in here, I think, that goes on to that. But before we get to that, what is one of your pet peeves? Do you got any like specific pet peeves about being in a chair?
No, one of the things is that I had is when someone would grab my chair and start pushing me. That's why I don't have the handles on my back ever on these chairs. Now that I know that, I didn't know that before, but when I came home from the hospital in '83, in a 45-pound Everson Jenny, I just remember that people grabbing my handles and whether it was a church or even in my house,
right?
Yeah, and then put you in a certain area, and I that really. Yeah, that's one of the things that really irks me.
I think the longer we go in time, more and more people are starting to realize like that's a no-no. You know what I mean? Like you don't just because there's handles on the back doesn't mean you grab onto it unless I ask you, or unless I need to or something. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, I've heard that one a few times. That's definitely a big one. What is something? Now this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. What is something that you wish you could do now that you can no longer do in a chair that you could do before?
I mean, that's a good question. I guess, I used to do track and field. I played football, but I was able to, do that, in sports and wheelchair sports, to have that as an outlet. But running, I used to love running, as fast as I, could. And
Yep.
That's basically the thing, actual running.
I remember what it felt like. It's like in your head. Like I'll have dreams sometimes. You know what I mean? And then you wake up and it's like just to feel that ache kind of running and like your muscles being like tired or just the speed you could get. You know what I mean? Like digging into the ground, trying to go as fast as you could up a hill or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. For sure. Running is up there. You know what? I have never sat back and like calculated all these answers and seen like what leads what. You know what I mean? I should write these down and see like how high on the board they rate. That'd be fun.
One thing I don't miss, I don't mean to cut you off, is stepping on dog shit.
Yeah.
I don't miss stepping on dog shit.
I don't miss that. Or like really like my shoes don't get dirty a lot unless like I'm doing something crazy.
I got shoes from 1983. I got Jordans, the original ones.
They probably still look like the day you got them.
Yeah, that's one of the perks about being in a chair. I always tell people is that, my shoes just last forever.
No creases. Yep. You'll never have to buy. I mean, that's what I said. I was going to, when I first was in the chair, I was like, the first thing I'm going to do when I get a little bit of money is I'm going to go out and I'm going to get me a shoe collection that I'll never have to replace or touch or throw away. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I got. I mean, the Adidas I got on now, I've had since the day I got home. So.
And you're going to have them for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. It sucks, though, because sometimes you buy shoes and you're like, man, I bet you this is comfortable. And you can't even, like, really technically feel it. You're like, it's probably comfortable. Give it to somebody. Here, put my shoe on. Tell me if this is comfortable or not. What type of wheelchair do you have, and do you have a name for it?
I don't have a name for it, but I've had several chairs, but the main one that I use is the T-Lite, the ZRA, and I kind of done some modifications to it with certain wheels that I have. I don't know if you've seen them. They got the shocks on them. They're called soft wheels, and they have like
okay, for the casters, you mean?
No, for the actual back.
No. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they got shocks in between the. Yeah, like for the spokes.
Between the hub and the rim.
Those are sweet. Yeah, those are cool. Yeah, a lot of people, that's what I figured. I figured everybody had a name for their chair. I thought that was like a thing.
I never made my chair, but you know what? I definitely don't mind getting into it like I have in the past when I've had other chairs that weren't quite as advanced as this one.
Yeah.
I think, the lighter your chair, the better independency that you'll have, the more independent you will be. Because you won't be thinking about lugging a chair into your car, then taking it out, putting it together. And when you have a light chair, I'll have my chair in my car in 5 seconds. So I don't even think about not wanting to go out or go do something, to whereas several years ago when I didn't have this chair, and I had a heavier chair, I wouldn't want to go because God, I got to take that wheel off. I got to take the side guards off. I got to take this off. I got to take the pedals off. You don't have to worry about that with this chair. So I'm grateful for to have this chair. That's all I know.
Right, for sure, absolutely. Next question I got for you is, what is your pain like? Do you have any pain?
I do have like kind of where my injury is, the area of my injury. It's not constant like it used to be, but I get like a tingling, sharp sensation in that area, kind of hot in a sense. But it's always there, so I really don't notice it unless I aggravate my back or something, lifting something too heavy or in the wrong way. But thank goodness I don't have much issues with pain.
Now, when you said it's not constant anymore, how long would you say that it was like constant for you?
Well, it started in 2000 when I had my rods. I had 2 Harrington rods put in 1983, and then in 2001 they had to come out. And since that, when they took them out, that's when I started to notice the pain. But it's because it's so frequent. If I was to think about my pain, that's all I would do all day, is just be thinking about my pain and trying to alleviate it.
Right.
To whereas if I just don't think about it, I don't need to worry about getting pills and then getting constipated and all the side effects that come with that. That just became more problematic to me than the pain.
So right now, do you take anything for the pain?
I'll smoke, not so much for the pain, but for my spasms. Because I do get,
help,
and that is, the spasms themselves is what really irritates, the area of my injury, because your paraspinals and all of that start tightening up, and the pain starts to surface, and you start to realize it more. So, so I'll smoke once in a while, and that definitely helps.
Nice. Yeah, I feel you about, like, I don't know. I think everybody, if you got into a vehicle related accident, I think there's always kind of a constant pain. Maybe even all accidents. I don't know. But some people I talk to and they're like, nah, I don't got no pain at all. And I'm like, you lucky dog, you. You know what I mean? But you're right, though.
Yeah.
It's something where if you don't think about it, you kind of stay busy or whatever. It just kind of goes along with your day. You know what I mean?
I accept it like I accept my wheelchair. I'm not going to pretend that it's not there, but it's kind of like that.
Right, for sure. Next question is, what helps you the most after your injury?
What helped me the most? My mom. My mom was a trooper. She is still, but she was there for me, and always. She was just always there, and especially since I'm the middle child, and I'm not going to get in trouble because I got 5 brothers, and they're probably going to say something. But my mom's been my source, and she always will. She's an extremely, extremely strong person, and I have her to be grateful for. Nice.
I like it. Let's get one of these for Mom, shall we? There we go. Yeah, I haven't hit the button besides that first part today, so I like to hit. I got to start playing with these things more often. What's the point of having them if you don't mess with them?
Absolutely, man.
The next question I got for you is, now this is something that I wanted to talk about with you, is hobbies before and after. Now, I know you make a couple videos of you going out that I watch. You got like the property videos. You got my favorites when you do the gun videos and you just pull up in the car. And you're like, all right, let's see what we could do, and just start busting out the window. And I'm like, that's fun. I wish I could I probably could do that on my property, but what's that like? Your hobbies? Besides that, is that pretty much what you do, or what else do you usually get into?
I wish that's so. No, I guess my hobbies are I've turned them into, in a sense of like an employment, because a lot of my hobbies bring back money, not so much just going out there and shooting the guns, but I collect coins and sell them on eBay. Era coins and things of that nature. I used to do baseball, sports cards and things of that nature. But I didn't like it, or I didn't enjoy it as much as I do, going through a bank box of quarters or something, looking for silver or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then I play the guitar. I've been playing guitar now for longer than I've been in the chair. So
Wow.
that's another hobby that I have.
See,
And,
that's something I didn't know about, Mr. Daniel Ruiz. I didn't see
oh,
no videos of that. You should be posting you jamming out, man.
no, I got a couple up there. I just haven't done one recently.
Oh, that's probably why I haven't seen it. Heck
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Man, I myself play guitar a little bit before my accident. Not so much after, but with everything going on, it's like you always have that one thing that you want to pick back up and start doing, but it's like you can never like really get into it or find the time, or something always occupies your time. You know what I mean? Before you can get into it. What I really need to do is just make time for it and try to get into it if I really want to do it. You know what I mean? Music was a big thing. I think for a lot of people it still is. It's a big thing for people to do healing. But for me, it was weird because before my accident, I did music and I got like songs and stuff that I made. But after the accident, I just never really got back into it. I started doing this instead. I think maybe this is kind of where it shifted over. But that's definitely where I want to start doing more stuff. I'd like to hear some of your guitar though. That'd be nice.
No, I'll put some videos up.
Absolutely. Now speaking about your videos, do you have a YouTube page at all?
Yeah, I have a couple of them because as an entrepreneur, you're in a position where you throw a lot of things at the wall and hope
Hope one
for
sticks.
something sticks. So I got a lot of for lack of a better term, I got a lot of shit on the wall. And the one thing that I tried doing is what you're doing right now. Doing something on YouTube to inform people and to help individuals that may have a disability cope with life, or give them, maybe plant a seed, letting them know, hey, look, I'm actually doing this, I'm doing that, I've been married, I've had kids, I've gone to school, I've quit school, that I'm involved,
Right.
and I'm living a life. I'm not in bed, and the term wheelchair bound, things of that nature. Those things really, those are pet peeves of mine that I try to correct people on sometimes. But
It's almost like, oh, so you're walking bound then, I guess, huh? You're legged bound. I don't know. Yeah, I could see that kind of like, it hasn't yet got to me, but I could see how that could start getting to somebody, especially if you're out there trying to advocate for, you know what I mean, better terms and people to realize kind of the way it is. And
I mean, it's not. It's just speaking correct English. It's. I'm not trying to make this whole woke thing. Like try to add pronouns and make up categories and stuff of that nature. I mean, this is. It's just my point. My point of view on that.
Right. What about fitness? What do you do for fitness?
Well, I mean, basically, I go to Planet Fitness about 3 times a week. And I'm in the process right now of having them install a fully accessible workout station for individuals that are in a chair that can work out without getting out of their chair,
Nice.
which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And so that and plus just the in and out of my car, I push my chair everywhere I go, and
I was gonna say that's a workout in itself, right there.
that's yeah.
Yep. What about traveling? Do you like traveling? Have you ever like been on the airplanes stuff or?
Oh yeah. I've done. I used to do. Let's go back a little bit. Back in like 1995, 96, 97, 98, 99. I was a world-class wheelchair tennis player. I played on the Miami
Nice.
Heat wheelchair basketball team. I was the team captain for 3 years. So I had a lot of opportunities to fly. We sued several airlines because I was also the president of the Association for Disabled Americans for 20 years. And we were able to create access at tens and thousands of facilities. And I was right there. I was one of those soldiers,
On the front lines.
Absolutely. And 9 out of 10 places that I went to and we put a complaint in, or that I went to check on, it's compliant today. So
Nice. Yeah, I think about that. All the people that came before me that made it possible for these people to understand, like, hey, you got to put a ramp. Hey, you got to make this accessible. Hey, we can't get in here. You're going to have to do something. And you think about all the schools and all the facilities that you go to on a daily basis. to either watch your kid do a concert or to go to go retake your driver's license picture or whatever it is. You look around and it's like it's starting to come together. There's a lot of places where you still can't get into. I mean, if you really wanted to, you probably could, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's coming around. You can tell it's moving forward.
No, it absolutely, it definitely has. And a little funny story. Usually, I'll do a video if I'm staying at a hotel. I just recently went to Mississippi to, I think it was Tunica. That's where I went, Tunica, and went there to play little, cards, some poker, and all that kind of stuff. And when I got to the room, I mean, most of the rooms I ever go into, there's always like a plethora of violations. However, with this room, I did the video on my Facebook page. Didn't have any violations, but one, which is kind of frivolous, and I'm not mentioning that because I'm going to make a video, because I do the videos and then I offer like a little prize or something for whoever answers the questions correctly or effectively. So then, like Bill Landreth, he just won a nice silver dollar, and for answering some of the questions on the last, I call it click, pick, fix. You click the pick and then you try to fix it by saying, okay, the door's not wide enough, the bathroom's not compliant.
I see what you're saying. That's fun.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. So I have a lot of fun with that.
Nice. And when we get done with this too, I'll go through the description and we'll add in all of your different social media sites and YouTubes and stuff like that. That way people can find you easily.
Cool.
On there. All right. So the last question, but I would say is one of the most important, is what piece of advice would you give to somebody who is just newly injured?
Oh man, that it gets better. I mean, no matter how bad it looks or seems at that moment, and I'm speaking just from my experience in individuals that I've seen and known. I got a lot of good friends that are in chairs, and it gets better, and you gotta find your mountain. Mountains meaning an endeavor, something that's going to keep you busy, something that gives you passion, something that makes you spring out of bed in the morning rather than not wanting to even get into your chair. And once you find those mountains, you get up to the summit. If you make it to the summit, that's the goal, then you come down, gracefully, and then you look for another one. It doesn't, you just can't stop. You got to be kind of like a shark. You always got to be moving. You start standing still, the UTIs happen. You start getting pressure sores, and so that's kind of my philosophy on this on that topic.
You know what, Mr. Ruiz, I like it. I like that answer. That was a good one. Thank you for that. Now, for everybody else, if you've enjoyed this, we have enjoyed you viewing this. If you'd like to check out more of Daniel's stuff, that's going to be below in the description. As soon as this goes off live, we're going to get all that stuff situated. It usually takes about an hour or so. And then if you yourself or anybody else that would like to come on a Wheelchair Wednesday, go ahead and shoot me a message. Make a comment. Do something. I'm sure you'll get my attention some way, somehow. And we'll get you on here. Daniel, is there anything else you'd like to leave off with?
I just want to say thank you for inviting me onto your podcast. It's an honor. I've seen what you've done, and I hope that you keep on doing this, and that you grow, and that we need more of this. Not about the awareness, but just letting people know that, hey, look, life is not over.
Just to have a conversation. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks very much, Daniel, for those kind words. And everybody else, I mean, we've been getting a bunch of fan art. I mean, Tomasa, she's actually in the chat. She sent us something cool. We hung up, and just the special, messages we get. We really do appreciate that stuff. So yeah, until the next one, it's going to be next Wednesday on my birthday, July 12th. We're going to have a special guest at that time. But until then, Daniel, stick with us. We'll talk to you here in just a second after we close out. Everybody else, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.